HOU 11 starts right now with a breaking news alert.
And right now we continue our breaking coverage of the devastation happening in the Texas Hill Country. Here are the latest updates. At least 82 people in that area have died because of the destructive Guadalupe River flooding. This includes dozens of children from summer camps along the river. A popular camp in the headlines worldwide is Camp Mystic for girls. It confirms 27 of its campers and one counselor have died. We continue to bring you team coverage this afternoon with crews along the Guadalupe River, a mental health expert on how to help children, and Houston's tremendous aid response. Let's begin with Marcelino Benito. He's been listening to the latest presser from Kerr County, ground zero of these historic flash floods. Marcelino, what are you hearing?
Sherman, Kerrville's mayor putting it bluntly, saying, quote, "It will be a rough week." At this hour, sadly, the death toll in Kerr County continues to climb. The total now 75 dead. That includes 48 adults and 27 children. Of those, 15 adults and 9 children are still pending identification. Local officials tell us 10 campers and one counselor from Camp Mystic remain unaccounted for. Search operations are ongoing. This is a 100-kilometer search area, nearly 24 agencies working together, going grid by grid, each one taking between 1 to 3 hours. Senator Ted Cruz was at this morning's presser. He was asked about why warnings didn't come sooner.
We will have a reasonable conversation about are there any ways to have earlier detection? Everyone would agree in hindsight, if we could go back and do it again, we would evacuate particularly those in the most vulnerable areas, the young children in the cabins closest to the water. We would remove them and get them to higher ground. My hope is, in time, we will learn some lessons to implement. Next time there's a flood, I hope we have in place processes to remove especially the most vulnerable from harm's way.
Senator Cruz adding now's the time to support those grieving, especially families who've lost children. Once the search phase is complete, Kerr County officials say they plan to take a look at every aspect of what happened here, including cell service, radio communication, and flood warnings. Kerrville's city manager says they continue getting calls reporting missing people. They're not yet releasing a number, adding that many of those calls are turning out to be fake. Sherman, back to you.
That is stunning to hear. And as the Kerrville mayor said about the search, every foot, every mile, every bend of the river, we remain hopeful. Thank you, Marcelino. And new at noon, a Houston family mourning the loss of 19-year-old Chloe Childress. She was a counselor at Camp Mystic. She spent her summer mentoring young girls there. Her heartbroken family calling her a joyful light with deep faith. We are working to learn more about the victims, the difficult search, and eventual investigation. We'll update you on air and online. And today, high water continues to be an issue across Texas's hill country. This is video our photographer Moe Beltran shot this morning. You can see how heavy that flow of water continues to be along the Guadalupe. Our Jacob Rascon and Amanda Henderson have spent the morning by the river, and they show us the impact it's been having.
We can appreciate from right at the edge of the Guadalupe just how devastating it must have been to have this exact river raging 2-3 stories higher, Amanda, than it is now.
Yeah, especially because even being here, we can see how much it's gone down. We see stuff now, in the trees and also poking out of the Guadalupe River, and the destruction that's been left behind. I mean, it just lines this entire area of Louise Hayes Park here in Kerrville, a very well-known park. This is where they were supposed to have a 4th of July celebration, before these tragic floods occurred. And so things were set up here, and the debris left behind is just one image that we have of just the devastation that has rocked this small Texas town.
And we know that cars and RVs and even a cabin or two were forced down the Guadalupe, and the water, as you can tell from the broken trees everywhere, again was 25-30 feet higher than we are now.
It's so strong. The fact that the trees are bending over, it's so strong.
And tragically, the headline from this morning's newspaper already outdated, as we know that at least some of those who were reported missing are confirmed to have not survived. And we try to keep in mind also the 850 plus people who were rescued by strangers and first responders.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Jacob and Amanda. All right, let's bring in Kim Castro right now. I mean, it's almost unbelievable, but there's still a flash flood warning over this area.
There is. The weather setup right now is really dangerous, and it's a problem. We haven't had anything in the jet stream to push along this trough here. So as long as this sits over central Texas, it's going to continue to send impulses, and with abundant tropical moisture still funneling into the Lone Star State, well, we're seeing at this hour more and more storms continuing to develop. Here's a loop over the last hour. So right now, a lot of the energy from Brownwood down to Yates. If I take you back 4 hours, you'll notice there was some strong activity just west of the I-35 corridor. You could see those impulses that I'm talking about from the trough really lifting up all of this moisture. And that is enough to, yes, continue to bring us flash flood warnings in all these cities that are under the polygon. So Brownwood to Brady to Fredonia, all these areas have a really delicate window of accumulation because they've been saturated like we've seen with feet of rain. So right now, just in the last 6 hours, Killeen, 8 inches of radar indicated rain. Again, Brady, about 4 inches. The forecast still has a possibility of 2 to 4 inches of widespread rain and up to 10 inches possible in some localized areas. So localized flash flooding is going to be a big concern. In fact, we've seen an upgrade for the flood risk today. Now a level 3 on the 1 to 4 scale. So Central Texas under the gun again for today following historic flooding. We are now at the top spot for record Guadalupe River flooding. This is at Hunt. On the 4th, there was close to 40 feet of water. And that's what we're contesting again today as we continue to see more and more rain. We just cannot see the pile up continue, Sherman. So I'll keep an eye on it for us.
All right. Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
And this morning, donations are coming in from all over the state for flood victims. Many donation drives are happening in the Houston area. Our Devon Raming joining us from the University of St. Thomas, where one of those drives is happening right now.
Well, here at the University of St. Thomas's Veteran Success Center, donations are being dropped off now through Wednesday from 9 to 3 p.m. And this is just one of several locations across the Houston metro area collecting donations for those in need. Now, over the weekend, hundreds of people came out at donation drop-off sites to drop off everything from water, hygiene products, to cleaning supplies. Several local school districts like Alvin and Humble ISDs, along with Typhoon, Texas, and the Salvation Army are also collecting goods. Now, in addition to the donation drives, several big-name outlets like the Dallas Cowboys, the Houston Texans, and the NFL Foundation have come together to donate a combined $1.5 million to communities impacted by flooding in Central Texas. Meanwhile, locals across the area are finding joy amid a time of grief and being able to help.
This is about, helping humanity and being there for each other, and because we're all in this together. And, and I love that area. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's just, I needed to do something.
Now, as for where donations are being taken, well, we have them listed here for you on your screen. But keep in mind, some of these places like Clearbrook FAA are only accepting gift cards like gas and grocery cards, while others are accepting everything from cleaning supplies to bedding, towels, clothes, and shoes, as well as non-perishable food items. Now, for a full list of all of the locations, the dates and times, as well as what each location is accepting, we have this in a link on our website on khou.com. For now, in Houston, Devon Raming, KHOU 11 News.
A lot of help needed, a lot of help being given. KHOU will continue to cover this story. If you want to keep up with the latest, text the word FLOOD to 713-526-1111. We'll have updates, resources to help those impacted, and how to report missing people, along with details about the victims.